What's up, boys? Let's get it going. Time to go. Some rapid chess here in the birdhouse. Playing f4, d5, knight f3. Okay, this is a classic bird. Dutch variation. It's time to go. I'm going to play b3 here. Yeah, we'll play b3. Normal stuff. I got a fresh, hot cup of coffee. Jose took the special extra effort. Gave me a hot cup of joe. The old hot cup of joe from Starbucks. Delicious. There. All right, we'll play bishop b2. E6, we'll just castle. Hoping, yeah, I love when they play that. They just giving us a free move. We're probably going to do that anyway, so. Bros just gave it to us with a free tempo. Okay, 95, going for the chop. The old classic chop. It seems like at the higher levels, everyone knows to not let the Birdmaster get his chop, so. Hopefully I can get my chop. Hopefully I can get one chop in. Get a few chops in still. I don't know what else to do. Like bishop g7, we could play c4. Yeah, what am I talking about? We're just going to go for the chop. I'm expecting he plays something like rook c8, queen c7. That's also okay. We could try c4. Knight c3 could also make sense here. Honestly, a lot of moves could make sense here. I think c4 is interesting. This could go literally either way. You could also play queen f3, knight c3 to target d5. Knight g4 is another idea. Wait, why am I not playing knight g4 actually? Knight g4 looks like the move. Knight g4, I think the only way for them to make sense of this is to play d4 and to just bask in the bedlam at that point. This looks great. Like my whole idea here is bishop g7. I'm going to take, yeah, if he takes with the pawn, we just play f5. If he takes this way, we're going to take twice and then play f5. In either case, I should have a slight advantage there. All right, we're going to take. Now things are going to get a little frisky. Look at this. If he plays d4, his bishop gets really, really good here. Let's play d4. Construct a solid wall, a solid apparatus. I could have played d3, but then he'd always have pressure on e3. I'd rather rip the band-aid off of this structure, you know what I mean? Just play d4. e3 is going to be a little weak, but at least his bishop is terrible. Play knight c3. Hopefully we'll take with the queen. Yeah, if he doesn't do anything, I'm taking here. Bro better hurry up. It's time to go. There. What is bro doing? All right, we'll play knight c3. Still got some pressure here. Still threatening takes and knight takes d5, which would be good. What's he going to do now? If he plays queen d7, queen d7 is some interesting stuff. Queen d7, rook d8, okay. I really like the idea of rook b1 and b4. a3, b4 also makes sense. Should we play f5? Because if we don't play f5, then sooner or later they're going to play f5. I don't think we need to worry about f5, though. Yeah, let's play rook b1 here. I'm going to play b4. Just going for a full dark square strategy at the moment. Complete dark square strategy. If he lets us, we're going to take twice here. I'm just trying to get this pawn to budge. Beautiful. The pawn budged. And yeah, now this pawn is stuck here in stone. And yeah, nothing is going to be breaking these dark squares. Going to play queen d3 and rook b1 and start pressuring this b pawn. He's going to be in a very tricky situation soon. On the one hand, he wants to push this b pawn to make it more safe, but then that's going to really weaken c5. And long term, the knight is going to be excellent on that square. All right, so here his last opportunity to get this bishop better is to go this way. So that's what we should be playing against. Half of me wants to play f5, but then I think he plays bishop d7 anyway. I'm not really sure what we've done. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like f5, bishop d7, I can always leave that there, and if he takes, I just ruin his structure and give him triple pawns, but I'm not sure that's worth it. On the other hand, I need to leave this knight here for the moment to deter bishop d7, because then I'll have knight takes d5. I mean, maybe I could try f5 and back it up with g4, but that's really risky. I need to figure out what these pieces are doing over here. I think maybe I need to just move this rook back. Yeah, the rook has nothing to do now. Let's just move the rook back. We'll figure everything else out later. Yeah, I have very good control of the dark squares at the moment. What is bro going to do? Queen a5? Let's play queen... Oh, cool. Queen d3, he plays b4. Yeah, things are getting a little iffy in the Cabbage Patch. Play Queenie 1. Queenie 1 is a hella sneaky move. Look at this. We have ideas of knight takes now. If he plays b4, then I could play knight d1. That's a weird position, honestly. Yeah, maybe I messed up here. This is gonna get really frisky. b4, I should have been paying more attention to b4. I was just so in my head thinking about just random things. Random things in my life. Dude, what is this position, man? Alright, I guess I have to play knight d1 here. It's gonna get very strange. I definitely didn't handle this properly. We shouldn't have allowed this. His bishop is gonna get out now. His bishop has broken into the Cabbage Patch. Raise the alarms. Raise the alarms, boys. This is a rogue bishop on our hands. It's time to go. Yeah, very strange position at the moment. Honestly, it's bizarre. This is really bizarre. Okay, so I want to defend this. If we could take this way. If he plays rook b8, that's not a problem. Like takes, I play rook f2. No, then his queen just gets out. I don't have anything there. Can't play rook f2 though, then I drop the rook. Let's just play rook b2. Pushing the queen around a bit. I'll take next. This is going to get precarious, honestly. There. I guess I have to take with the queen. This is definitely something that if I was calculating better, I could navigate through, but yeah, I just can't figure this out. I can't make heads or tails of this position. Like, long story short, if we can get our knight somewhere good, if we can get our knight to c5, I think we'll have a big advantage, but that's a big if. That's a big if in this fruit salad of life. What are we doing here? Let's play rook e1. Just get out the way. He's trying to be fancy with this bishop move, but I think ultimately it just wasted some time. Now he can't play a5 because the bishop's going to be hanging. I just need to slowly try to reroute this knight to c5. So if we play knight f2... There. Okay, this is getting frisky. Knight f2, he's planning on taking and winning this pawn, so I don't like that. We could take this way. Dude, this is a weird position. Okay, we'll take this way. I'm going to try to get the rook over. This knight is really, really misplaced here. If I could just fix this knight, it wouldn't be a problem. Yeah, this is tricky stuff. This is definitely risky business in every sense of the word. Yeah, if I play c3, he's just going to attack this knight. Meanwhile, if I play knight f2, knight d3... Yeah, this is tricky. This is really tricky business. All right, I'll play c3 here. Maybe I'm just playing badly. Honestly, we have a lot to analyze after. This is just a very crazy position to discuss. So here, I'm thinking about playing e4. I really want to liberate my position with this. Yeah, e4 makes a lot of sense. Look at this. He's going to take, but then we're going to play knight e3, and all of a sudden we have two connected passers. This is going to be very interesting. Dude, I need to study these positions so much more. Like, honestly, when I have time, I'm going to start studying these. And the bird is really going to start pecking. Because at the moment, I feel I definitely had a huge advantage there somewhere. And I just slipped on a banana peel or something. Because this is not the way bird games are supposed to go. Play rook c1 here. If he plays rook a3... rook a3, I could play knight d5 and keep everything under control. Very, very strange position at the moment. There... I want to play rook c2, but then bishop d3. Doesn't really do anything. We could play knight d5. He plays king f8, though. I take on f6. I take on e4. I can't be better there, though. You know, play knight d5, just see what happens. I think I'm worse, though. Yeah, I gotta play these games better, guys. This is not good. This isn't a good look for anyone. Yeah, I mean, truth be told, honestly, the structure is very strange. I feel I definitely messed up somewhere. Like, back here, back before he played b4, I should have an advantage here, but it's very messy. I needed to really be aware of him trying to push these. It's definitely on me. There's just a lot of bird theory I need to understand. Okay, luckily I just won a rook. That's very fortunate. Okay, yeah, this is an awful graph, man. Here I thought I was better. Truth be told, I've never done something like that before in the bird, so I felt I was definitely on shaky ground, or I should say a shaky branch. But even so, man, that is not a good graph. 87.2, I don't think I deserve 87.2. All right, so knight g4, dude, knight g4 is inaccurate. I've never tried that before. Yeah, that's wild. I'm worse here. Are you kidding? That's crazy. The whole issue here, guys, is that e3 is just too weak in these positions. There's really no solution here. If I don't push d4, he's going to push d4 and his bishop's going to be excellent sooner or later. I should push d4, and I was banking on something like this, and I thought I'd have really good pressure here. I thought, you know, going to have a good queen, good pressure against f6. He'll probably have to play f5 at some point, like something like this will happen. And, you know, I got really good control of the dark squares. That's shocking that even here he's okay. I never would have expected that. I think a big part of the problem is just that our knight has no way to really resolve itself. There's nowhere really great for the knight. Like at the moment, the knight is decent here, but long term, he's going to line up with his rook against the knight, and the knight's going to have to move. But if the knight ever moves, though, then how am I going to keep his pieces off of e4? How am I going to stop him from playing rook e4 and d4 and really unleashing this bishop? Okay, so this makes sense. Bro played b6, I played knight c3 here, played rook b1. Apparently I'm supposed to play f5 here. After castles, then what? Rook f3. Interesting. Yeah, this looks good, actually. You know, we're going to transfer the queen over. We might play rook h3. He has nothing to do here. Like, the whole idea is that if he plays g5, he can't do anything with this pawn just yet. If he takes here, his structure is hideous. This is not going to be good. Meanwhile, if he plays g5, then he just leaves our pawn here, and now we could always build concrete whenever we want. I guess not in this exact position. We're not supposed to build concrete yet. But the whole idea is eventually, maybe in an endgame, we can build concrete. Like, I'm thinking, let's just assume that the queens get traded. Let's just assume that the queens get traded. Yeah, in this position, so I had to give white a lot of moves. But long story short, if you can get this concrete here, and I guess you should also do it in a way that doesn't allow them to push h5. Like back here, they can try to undermine with king g7, rook h8, and h5. I'm thinking about it, maybe half of the thing, I think half of the reason is just that, yeah, this is shocking. I would have assumed that white's just better here. Because now at this point, now his, like, what are the prospects of his bishop? Yeah. No, I'm looking at it, though. There are too many precarious things here. I think one of the big problems is that we've pushed b3, so our knight is always a little unstable here. Like, if he plays bishop e7 and rook c8, our knight's always gonna be a bit unstable there. It's not perfect. I wish chess.com, like, this is one of my main issues with chess.com. You can't just tinker around with the position on a board editor. But yeah, I would strongly suspect if this pawn were back on b2, white would have an advantage in a lot of these positions. Just the problem is that with b3, we've destabilized the knight along this potentially open file. All right, so I played rook b1, b4. b4 is a mistake. That's shocking. Oh, okay, well, actually, no, this makes perfect sense. Queen e7 is just a fork. I'm just losing here. Yeah, I should have seen that, honestly. He took, I took. Dude, if he plays queen e7, I'm in a lot of trouble. Yeah, I can't take here because he takes and he wins the knight. All right. So, yeah, I guess I learned my lesson. So he plays b5. This is still a really bad position, though. Man. And I thought I was better here. I thought, like, with my dark square control, I was better. Truth be told, if I am given 5 tempi to reroute the knight to c5, I should be much better. Like, let's just check it out. Let's just test out this theory. Even here, I'm not even better. That's wild. Yeah, no, he can always play a5, b4, and bishop b5. All right, yeah, so I guess I just didn't know anything about this structure. Yeah, so rook b1, queen e1, b4. I definitely felt like I was in a bit of trouble here. I felt like I was in a bit of trouble, but I was still trying to squeeze water from a stone and win. Apparently, I'm supposed to play knight f2 here, but I didn't like the fact that rook c8. I'm just going to have to start simplifying. I'm going to have to allow him to win this pawn here. If I play something like rook c1, he can drill in further with rook c3. And how is my knight ever going to get to d3 here? The whole idea of knight f2 was to get the knight to d3 and eventually to c5. But here I can't play knight d3 because of this. And I'm dead lost. All right. So I played c3, rook a4, e4. I thought this was a very good move. Yeah, because otherwise my knight's just going to take forever. Like, how is my knight ever even going to get to c5 now if the score isn't controlled? I have to go for the sacrifice. Knight e3, rook c8. I played rook c1. That's a big... Dude, I'm blundering so much. Guys, one time I gave the excuse that I was working to death on the course. The other time I gave the excuse that I was tired. Honestly, let me know in the comments what should be my excuse today. I don't even know like how I could be playing so badly. I'm literally blundering a pawn here and I didn't see it. Rook takes d4, my c pawn is pinned. I'm just down a pawn here. I'm going to use the excuse that I just had a steak and so I'm full and my energy is going to my digesting. So that's going to be my excuse for today. Yeah, I should have played knight d5 immediately. Attacking this, attacking this. I can't be that much worse here. I would assume he plays something like king f8. No, king f8, we have this fork. Wow. Okay, yeah, this is tricky. So how does he get... He needs to move this rook and let me take these pawns. Yeah, how did I miss this? This would have been fine for me. Instead, I just played rook c1. Bro played rook a3. That's wild. I can't believe that. I can't believe I missed this move. This is a very simple move. I'm a grandmaster. I should not be missing this. You know, it's games like these that really make me happy about the classic Soviet truth, which is that it's a good thing the grandmaster title is for life. Because, yeah, after a game like this, they would definitely want to take it away from me. So I played knight d5. I was wondering what would happen if he plays king f8. Okay, I was right on that. If he plays king f8, that's a very strong move. I'm in a lot of trouble here. Yeah, because the thing is like at the moment, if I could get these two pawns rolling, we'd be in business, but how am I going to get them rolling? If I ever play knight b6, I just drop this pawn. Bro can just take here this way. And if I play rook b1, he just trades the rooks. This is a disaster now. I'm down 2 pawns. His bishop is extremely secure. My knight is flimsy. This would be a terrible position. And he has 2 passed pawns as well. I didn't even notice that. All right, yeah, so that should be losing. King f8, I'm just going to have to wing it, honestly. I was planning on playing king f2 here. But no, then he plays f5, and then I'm not even going to be able to take that pawn. No, I'm going to have to try to scrounge a draw. I'm going to have to take here. He takes, I take, he takes, I take here. Currently material is equal, but now there's a new problem. All of these things are a little loose. He has an outside pass pawn. Not to mention the fact that I've advanced this pawn here means my second rank is always going to be weak. Like, let's say, I don't know, like rook c6, rook b4. If I ever let his rook into c2, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. Computer's saying he could do even more by rook c4. That makes perfect sense. He's trading the rooks. Yeah, this should be dead loss, definitely, because if he has an outside pass pawn supported by the bishop, which is a notoriously good long-range piece, against my knight is going to be feeble, my knight is going to be humble, and my knight is going to be driven to the edge of the board, just doing a very simple task of guarding this pawn. Knight isn't going to be able to do anything else. This should be losing. Yeah. Apparently I'm still holding on here. I'll just play something like rook b4, I'll play knight c5. It's going to be a struggle, but I should be okay. This is definitely very, very close to losing, though. This is very dangerous. There are just a lot of problems. These pawns are weak. This knight is also unstable. Long-term, my light scores are extremely weak here. Like, if he ever wants, he could just play bishop c6 and rook d2 to try to start assaulting the king side. Yeah, this is a very tough position. Anyway, fortunately for me, he just blundered a fork, and that was the end of the game. The main takeaway from this game is that it's good to experiment in the bird, but just understand if you get to a weird structure, you might appraise it completely incorrectly. I got this structure. I assumed, you know, he had the doubled pawns. He only has a light scored bishop. There's no way that I could ever be worse here. Like, even now, it's sort of shocking that I could be worse in this position. Computers, like, wising up and computers saying it's closer to equal, but black still has a slight advantage here. That's negative 0.19. Pretty much, I mean, you just got to learn your lesson. You just got to experiment a lot in the bird. The really good silver lining is that these positions are so weird, these structures are so unorthodox that your opponent will also struggle to understand them. Even if you end up messing up with an experiment and getting the experiment wrong, you're still going to learn a lot, and there's a very good chance you'll be able to wing it.
Time to go!